Hi, my name is Dan Warner. Welcome to my channel. If you've already subscribed to my channel, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about how to become an actor in 2021. I get asked this a lot. People will write me and say, hey, I've been wanting to be an actor for years, but I live in Louisiana. I live in Rustwater, Arkansas. I live in Minnesota, Connecticut, wherever USA. I live there. I don't live in Los Angeles. I don't live in New York. I've also had actors or people ask me, hey, I live in LA. I live in San Diego. I live in New York. I live in Atlanta. I live in Dallas. Those are Miami. Those are great hubs for acting, and I'm brand new, and I want to know if it's viable to break into acting in 2021. We had a pandemic, there was quarantine, there was all kinds of things going on, and quite frankly, a lot of people think, gosh, I don't think becoming an actor in 2021 is a viable thing. You can't go to classes, there's no auditions, you can't go see casting directors. Well, I'm about to tell you how to become an actor in 2021, even if you don't live in LA, New York, Atlanta, Dallas, Chicago, all those places. Let's start with training. The first thing you need to do is become a trained actor. You can't just be an actor. You have to have training. You have to have school. You have to learn all the things there is to know about being an actor. And how do I do that? I don't have any money. I don't live in LA. How do I get started? Well, there are a wealth of resources out there that can start you from wherever you are, from beginner actor, intermediate actor, even advanced actors can learn a bunch of stuff during a pandemic, during a quarantine. In 2021, things are opening up. First of all, all of the auditions, all of the auditions in 99% of the auditions in 2020 were self-tapes. I don't know why they call them tapes still, but they do self-submissions where you videotape or record your audition and send it, turn it in via email. There's Zoom auditions. There's all kinds of ways you can get your auditions to the casting people and or anyone who is casting a project, whether it be a student film or an independent film or a non-union commercial, all those things. Everything's done or being done electronically. So it's easy to get your audition to the people who need to see it to cast you for the project. But really, before you do that, you need to be prepared to act for that project. So training is vital. I could do a whole video just on training alone, but again, if you live somewhere in the United States, anywhere USA, and you have zero training, where do you start? Well, let's start the easiest place, where you are right now, on YouTube. You're on YouTube because you want to know stuff. I go to YouTube when I want to know stuff. When anyone wants to know anything, they Google or they YouTube, and therein lies the answer. Well, Google bought YouTube. Most people know that, some don't. I didn't for a long time. And so all the answers, or a lot of the answers, are right there. I will give you a little bit of warning though. When you are going to YouTube, and I've warned people about this before, and it's worth repeating. Whenever you go on YouTube, you have to whenever you do anything, you have to do your research. When you go on YouTube to find out how to become an actor, how to act in commercials, how to do a commercial audition, how to do a Zoom audition, any of those things, look at who the author is, look at who the speaker is, look at who wrote this, look at who's providing you the information, and check them out. Do your research. Google them. Go on to imdb.com. That is a fantastic resource to find out whether this person knows what the hell they're talking about or not. Because sadly, and it's not unlike any other business, there are so many people, especially starting in 2020, that came out of the woodwork claiming to be gurus and teachers and all those things. You need to vet those people. You need to do your research on any articles you read. You know, I know Backstage.com has a bunch of articles. I've looked at some of the articles and thought, I don't know that doesn't sound right to me. You know, written by Corey Anderson. I just made that name up. So I type in Corey Anderson, and Corey Anderson has 4 IMDb credits, and 3 of them were short films. You go, oh, well, what does Corey Anderson know? It turns out Corey Anderson doesn't know anything. So you're reading an article that Corey Anderson or Corey Smith or James Andrews wrote, and you look them up on IMDb. Those are all made up names, by the way. You look them up on IMDb and they've not done anything. And so don't take advice from people who haven't been doing it for years. Master teachers and trainers are all people who have been teaching and training and or doing their craft for a minimum of 10, usually 15. The better ones are 20 plus. You're going to get better nuggets of information from someone who's been doing it over 20 years. And that goes with any career or any path that you take. So just make sure the person you're listening to knows what they're talking about. I didn't even have to bleep that. Because otherwise, you're going to get bad information, and it's worse to get bad information than to guess, almost, because bad information may take you the wrong way. And you have that belief now that this is the information when it's not, and you're going the wrong way, and you don't want to be going the wrong direction when, you know, trial and error is a better avenue. And quite frankly, trial and error sucks. You don't want to do that. So, back to topic, sorry. Vet who you're listening to. Find out who you're listening to. Do your research. YouTube is a fantastic resource for acting tips, training, tutorials. I have a bunch of them, but there's a bunch of people who have a bunch of them. But again, make sure that person knows what they're talking about, and they've done some stuff. There's a couple of YouTube acting channels where there's one that you can't even find the guy. And he never says his name, never talks about anything. All the information's super general. You could find it on Google. So do your homework. When I talked about Backstage.com, that has a bunch of resources as well. There's a bunch of websites that do. Actors Access is another website that has a ton of resources. Actors Access, you can go on and sign up for free, but what I would recommend is paying the $68 for the year. Now, it's only $68 a year, and you get the Premium Plus, which means they have breakdowns there for non-union films, commercials, student films, all kinds of stuff where you can get your feet wet. You can also find out where that market is from. In other words, they may be shooting in, New Orleans, or they may be shooting in Minnesota. So do your research, find out what projects are shooting where, and apply for those projects. And you can do that on your own without an agent. Now, getting an agent is a whole other animal, and I'm going to do a completely separate video on how to get an agent. It's in the works right now. It should be up in the next week or two. And it's going to be a fantastic video. It's going to explain A to Z exactly how to get an agent, which is super important, and it's going to take you to the next level. But right now, you need training. So there's online courses, there's online workshops, there's YouTube. There's all kinds of websites and resources. Google is your best friend. YouTube is your best friend. Go on there, do your homework, do your research. Listen, doctors spend years and years before they become a doctor and get paid. Lawyers, the same. Plumbers have to go through a test. The architects have to go. There's so many careers where they have to study and work and go to class and do all these things before they can make big money. Acting is no different. So if you start and you've been doing it and grinding it out for about a year and you go, gosh, I'm not getting anywhere. Well, You just started. It's only been a year. And this last year, you don't even count it because it was 2020 and 2020 sucked. So this is a marathon. It is not a sprint. You've got to, I mean, if you really want to do this, if this is something that you really feel like you can do, that you want to do, that you have to do, you have a passion for it, get another job, pay the bills. But at night or on the weekends, go to YouTube, find tutorials, look them up. Go to my website, danwarnermedia.com. I've got a bunch of free tutorials on my website. I've got private coaching on my website. I've actually got a page on how to get an agent on my website, danwarnermedia.com. That's another great resource with a bunch of free stuff on it that will help you move your ball forward, get your career started or moving. But there's other websites as well. Again, Backstage, Actors Access, there's a ton of them. Google it, look them all up, go to IMDb, vet everybody, check everybody out, do your research. This is going to take a while. It's gonna be a bit of a grind. But when you book your first job, you will go, God, it was all so worth every second, every tear, every drop of sweat. It's the most fantastic career I can ever imagine embarking on. I mean, I'm sure there's better ones or different ones, but not for me. This is the best. And so if you want to do this, you have to be serious about it. You can't just dip a toe. You can't just moonlight as an actor. You can't go, well, I'm going to give it a try. Give it a try. If you're going to give it a try, then don't do this. Go do something else. Give something else a try. This is something that you have to do. It's got to be burning inside you that you really, really, really want to do this. And again, I'm going to have another video coming out soon, how to get an agent, and other videos of this sort. And I'm going to dive deeper into these different websites and different ways to get auditions, tips on self-taping. I've done a ton of them. I'm going to do more of them. If you've got any questions or comments about this video, leave them down in the questions and comments section down below. If you've got a question about, hey, I'd really like to see a video on XYZ, let me know, and I will look at it, and I'll possibly do, if I get enough people asking about the same thing, I'll do a video on that subject. You should like this video if you liked what I've had to say. If you got anything out of it, if you've not subscribed to my channel yet, you should subscribe, because I come every week bearing gifts, bearing these tidbits of information. And I know for some of you, this was maybe a refresh, or maybe just sort of information that you think you already knew. But I will tell you that if you can take away anything from this, the more advanced actors, take away that that revived sort of spirit of investing in your career, getting your headshots done, self-submitting for tapes, learning new things on YouTube, learning things on Google, learning things on Actors Access, looking up workshops, take a workshop, take a class. It's all going to help you. It's all going to help you improve your acting skills. Join a Facebook group. That's another one. Facebook groups are a great source of information. But again, make sure whoever's running the Facebook group, I think there's a group called Facebook or Acting for Beginners or something like that, and they're charging people to do stuff. And it's like, that's not what you do. And I looked the person up and they don't have any credits, and it's horrible. So please do your research. They prey on new actors who want to learn and want to know and want to do workshops and want to join Facebook groups and do all these things. And, if they can get some money out of you, they will. Only pay for stuff if you think it's going to advance your career or teach you something. We all have to pay for our education, and trial and error, like we said, is no bueno. So, yeah, do all those things, and ask me anything. I'll answer any questions that you might have. You know, in order, really. Do your homework with workshops, YouTube videos, tutorials. Look stuff up on the internet, Backstage and Actors Access and that kind of thing. Google how to where casting things are happening from, and then look into getting headshots done, because you'll need headshots. Eventually, you'll need an agent. I can help people with that as well. So, you know, resume. I have all that information on my website as well. So anyway. Again, this was helpful to you. Hit the like button if you've not subscribed. Subscribe. Go to danwarnermedia.com. I've got a bunch of great stuff there for free. Some stuff you have to pay for, though, because it's really, really good. I've got a bunch of resources and links down in the description there. And stay tuned and check back with me next week, because I'll have more amazing stuff for you that will help you become an Oscar-winning actor. It could happen. I'm not saying it couldn't happen, because it could happen. All right, do your homework.